Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Sarita. I have two candles for you today from Yankee. And these were a limited edition summer collection that initially, at least, was exclusive to Target. But then toward the end, within the last month or so, they have dropped to the Yankee Candle website as well, although I don't know if they appeared in stores. And it's a shame because it was actually a lovely little collection. They are the familiar little trash can tumblers. But I kind of appreciated the centered and more thoughtful clip art on these ones. And the apothecary jars were especially pretty. I thought they looked really gorgeous. There were, I want to say, 6 candles in this collection. I have 2 of them here, Aruba and Barbados. And then earlier in the summer, I burned Bahamas and Jamaica. So spoiler alert, Jamaica and Bahamas to me are the best fragrances of the 6. I mean, just by a wide margin. They performed abysmally in terms of strength and throw. They burned great, but it was strength and throw was just a major issue with both of them. Jamaica was a touch stronger than Bahamas was. Jamaica was also a little bit odd. It had a very kind of herbal grapefruit smell to it, but it was right in my wheelhouse, so I adore that fragrance. And it was unexpected and ambitious. And then Bahamas Beach Bum was just, I mean, it's a very familiar kind of standard sandalwood, coconut kind of beach fragrance with a little bit of neroli or whatever else. But I'll tell you what, it was one of the best beach fragrances in that category that I've smelled for a long time. It had a heavy driftwood kind of smell to it, and the driftwood that they used, the wood note, and it was a true wood note. It wasn't just like musk. The wood note was very similar to Bath and Body Works' Palo Santo note, which is just, I live for that Palo Santo note from Bath and Body Works. And I did think that, this is a fragrance that definitely Bath and Body Works could do, and they could call it Palo Santo Sands. And I don't know why they haven't milked the cow a little bit more in terms of their Palo Santo fragrance, but close parentheses on that. That's for a Bath and Body Works video, and I will probably be very angrily contacting the corporate office about Palo Santo in the near future. I'm sure that they'll appreciate that. So those 2 were phenomenal fragrances. These 2 slightly less in terms of fragrances. One performed and one did not. I did not end up keeping the other 2 in the collection, which are St. Lucia Skies, I believe. It's kind of a laundry fragrance. And also the Colorful Curacao, the big yellow mango candle. Actually, I think that one performed pretty well. For me, it was just a bit too mango, a bit too sweet. But yeah, I think from all reports that performed pretty well, and it was this stunning mango yellow color, just beautiful and bright. Generally speaking, I thought these were really nice. Yankee did not phone it in with this Target collaboration. So I don't have the scent notes here for Ocean and Aruba or Spiced Rum Barbados, but I can remember. So I think the notes, they weren't extensive notes because they were just on the Target website, at least for most of their existence. And Target just can't be bothered with the top, middle, and base. So I think it was a blurb, and I think it had to do with, it was watermelon and sugar. There may have been some fantasy note there about waves, sparkling waves or something too. Maybe some aquatic in here, maybe like a nuance. But for me, I called this a triple melon candle, in that I was not only getting watermelon strongly from it, and it was a nice watermelon too. It wasn't like Jolly Rancher watermelon, like it was a really nice watermelon, but I was also getting a heavy percentage of cantaloupe and possibly some honeydew as well. So it was a melon candle. And although it's not my wheelhouse, I really enjoyed it. I burned this for the month of July, and I think it did pretty well. The strength and throw on it was kind of in the like 6 range for open concept, 7 range in the back bedroom, although it's not really a back bedroom kind of fragrance profile. However, I could get some stronger, a better strength and throw given that it was a more enclosed space. But yeah, it performed like decently in terms of strength and throw, and I just thought it was a fantastic fragrance for July in that really unabashedly fruity kind of month, a backyard barbecue kind of month. I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed Raspberry Rosé from Bath & Body Works. I was really kind of living for the fruits, and this did a fantastic job. So I can recommend Ocean and Aruba. It's one of the nicest watermelon candles that I've smelled or burned. So it was really nice, and a shame that I think it didn't get more airtime at Yankee Candle brick and mortar stores. So yeah, it was clearanced, or it has been clearanced off, 15, 20% off the Target website. And I believe they will ship it to you because I haven't seen them in the stores for a while, but I'll link that information down below if it is the case. I burned this down to the wick clips. Yeah, it got a little sooty here toward the very end, but that's a very impressive burn for how long it burned, especially down toward the end. So very nice. It's a soy paraffin blend. This one got a bit more sooty here. This is Barbados spiced rum. I had high expectations for this one because it's kind of one of those really like spicy, incensey, musky vetiver kind of fragrances that I love, and that is especially fantastic here in this August to September realm. Very similar in category to Sanctuary from Kringle. So I said I was going to burn it in August, and in fact, I did burn it in August. I can't remember the notes specifically. They were a bit more extensive than the Aruba one. I want to say that there was vetiver mentioned for sure, and there was spices. I can't remember if they specifically called any out, but it's definitely clove forward. Maybe some cinnamon as well, like a nice, baking cinnamon, but certainly clove, and maybe some star anise, and I can't remember what else it had in it. They were exotic. It was exotic. Oh, they pretended that there was some rum in it. It's not really boozy, but it is kind of wine-like with all of the spices and the musk and the vetiver. Yeah, and it's very sweet, like Sanctuary too. Very sweet, very musky, very heavy, I just love the way it smells on cold. Unfortunately, once it was burned, all of the mystique, all of the exotic quality of it, and everything that was ambitious and a little unexpected about this spice concoction really burned off. And you were left with something that was like very generic and like kind of frankly a little potpourri smelling. It smelled more like in that dated, old-fashioned, I smelled this in my grandmother's house in the 70s kind of smell. Just very cliche. So for whatever reasons, what you smell on cold is just not what happens when it's burned, which is unfortunate. A lot of candles do that. They will transform either positively or negative away from what it is that you smell on cold. And unfortunately, this is one that really just didn't stay true to its on cold smell, which is a lot better. But that's not even the worst of it. The worst of it is that the strength and throw was terrible. I mean, it was like Bahamas level terrible, as in you would put this in your guest bathroom and you would still not be able to smell it. Kind of terrible strength and throw. So I cannot recommend this candle on any level. And I'm sorry to say that. I do recommend Ocean and Aruba, especially if you like those fruity watermelon kind of fragrances. And like I said, did not perform badly at all. So definitely check that out. It may not be high watermelon season right now, but especially if it's on clearance on the Target or Yankee Candle website, you could always pick one up for next summer. And I recommend July for this particular fragrance. I liked it a lot. I don't know if I would repurchase it, but I might. I might if it came back next year. I think I might, and who knows, if it came back in a 3-wick and could get even more strength and throw, I would repurchase it. Yeah. July is just one of those months that I make exceptions for. There are, even though a certain fragrance profile may not be your specialty, may not be your forte, your wheelhouse, there's usually one time in the year where it just feels right, you know? You may not be a heavy, smoky, spooky, patchouli kind of person, but you get into deep October and you just feel as though you should be burning something a little bit darker, even if it's just a gateway, right? So that's how I felt about the fruit this year. I really did quite a bit of fruit in July that otherwise I would not burn. So I would put Ocean and Aruba in that category, and I recommend it. So there you have it, my friends. I don't know, like I said, about the availability, but I'll look at the Yankee Candle website and the Target website, and if I see them, I will link them down below. And generally speaking, I have to give props to Yankee Candle. When you have a collab like that with a retailer like Target, there is, I'm sure, a temptation to kind of phone it in. Target is a much more general audience than like a boutique candle store. And therefore it's going to attract a lot of people who aren't necessarily candle people. Like I said, the temptation would probably be to phone it in. And I really don't think Yankee Candle did. I loved the aesthetic. I love the colors of waxes. And I loved the fragrances. So I think it's a real high point for Yankee Candle this year, even if it didn't happen, unfortunately, at their store or at their website. That's what I've got for you, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Stay tuned for a big Kringle haul, or at least a sizable Kringle haul in a couple of days. See you then. Bye.